Welcome, everybody, to episode 7 of the Outcast Haven podcast. Tonight, we're going to be talking some Fab, our thoughts on some community involvement, our concerns with that, and ways that we think we can probably go forward as a community. And then we're also going to hit on the decks we've been playing since Crucible and how we think the Crucible card pool has been affecting those, being more fun to play, changing up the meta a little bit, giving some more deck building options. So we'll run through that as well. So starting us out, I'm actually going to inject a little segment here that I like to call Fabulous Fab Facts. And this is just going to be a little tidbit, help the players learn a little bit more about the game. And then if you want, you can tune into a video we'll be putting out this weekend where we deep dive into that Fab Fact a little bit. So tonight, I want to talk about Bravo. Jason, you'll appreciate this. So Bravo, the showstopper, comes from the land of Arya. And he actually leads a troupe of performers that is called Bravo's Legendarium, and they travel around with the Everfest Carnival all around Aria and perform basically year-round. So if you want to learn more about Bravo and his Legendarium and sort of his backstory and what he does around Aria and how he became the hero in the game, be sure to tune in for that video. So jumping right into the community involvement we want to talk about. Jason, you brought this up, so I'll let you take her.
Yeah, so we just saw the first Crucible of War tournament. I don't have the results in front of me. We know Katsu and Dorinthia pretty much dominated the top 4. I think Bravo was up in the top 5 or 6. And when I see that, I get a little disappointed that here in North America that we don't have a scene right now. And I think it stems just from a player involvement aspect that when there's tournaments announced, we need to step up as players in this community and play in tournaments and start to build a community, build the meta. And the other thing that kind of resonates in thinking about community involvement and getting more people to play is we put out these videos with us playing games, and we get a lot of good constructive feedback, and we do misplays. I think everybody does misplays.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we're doing tournaments together as a community in North America, and I say North America not because we're anti-New Zealand or Taiwan, but just from a simple time zone perspective, that we can clean everybody's play up, because it's very easy when you're looking at a video to see mistakes. But when you're the person behind playing cards and we're playing with other people, we can help each other's community become better card players just by pointing out the little nuances and missing little steps. And even when we did our live stream on TTS, I think the play was very, very clean just because we had more eyes on it, and it will help us.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, it'll help us. So as people of North America, if there's tournaments out there, TTS or Discord tournaments, we need to step up and we need to start filling these tournaments.
Yeah. So I think
we're not talking big. We're talking if we can get 16 players in a tournament, let's get it started.
Yeah, I think it's really important to point out too that, at least for me, when I'm looking at like tournaments that are costing me, $15-20 entry fee, and it's, to me, just like a random group of guys or whoever is putting it on, it's kind of hard. But you got to understand too, though, that there's nothing established yet. So as a player, as a community, we have to take like that leap a little bit and give the people that want to run these tournaments a chance to get them going and get them started up, because it's going to be rough at the beginning. I mean, unless someone who has like a very long history of running online tournaments decides that they want to incorporate Fab into their structure, then that'd be great. Would love to participate in that. But as of right now, that's not happening. So if you see people putting stuff together, just even if it's not something you would normally do, or it's not like the perfect storm of stuff that makes you want to play in that tournament, I think it's important as a community to start trying to get those things going, because it's got to start somewhere, right? And if we keep getting these tournaments that are just failing because people aren't signing up, it's just going to take longer to get it going. So would love to see some community backing, but go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, I think it's important too to keep in mind that, like, if you're interested in the life and the longevity of the game, you have to view the investment that you're making in a tournament the right way. A lot of times we view tournament in like the money that you pay to play in it, you view it as like, what is the prize support I'm getting in return? And I think early in a game, you have to view it as less concerned about the prize support and more concerned about the longevity of the game. What you're investing in and having tournaments is investing in organized play, and investing in organized play is investing in the life of the game. Because the reality is, kitchen table gamers and people who play casually are absolutely 100% an important part of a game, but a competitive part of the game continues to drive a game forward. It continues to get it visibility in the competitive card game community, and that tends to draw in more players because it becomes more visible. So having a competitive scene doesn't detract from the ability to play it casually and to kitchen table it, because we all do that even for fun. We've talked about doing it with like UPF. It's just important for the game because the casual scene is important, but the competitive scene is an important component to every game's life.
Yeah, for sure. And it's
especially in collectibles.
Yeah,
collectible card games. Yeah. So I think that that's kind of our call to action, so to speak, is just to have people take that leap a little bit to allow the community to start to gain traction a little more going forward. So that is all we'd like to say on that. Mark, did you have anything? You didn't say much.
Not really. I mean, for me, I haven't obviously been on the TTS because my computer is jacked, so I don't have a whole lot to say. But I did notice before, of course, from the other game, that even to this day, they're still doing tournaments on TTS, and it seems to be going decently well. So it seems like, and that game's dead. So it's like, if you can get enough people to consistently do it and have it organized, it seems like it's a good idea for sure. So
yeah, and you've got the community Discord, which if you're not a part of, definitely check it out because it's a good resource. Lots of different people talking on there, and it's pretty active. So by all means, check that out. But if you can grab a couple friends and say, hey, all right, next tournament that comes up, I would pay $15, zero prize support, just to play 6 new people. I love you guys. I'm kind of tired of playing into the same 6 decks over and over again.
And it doesn't always need to be 15. It can be free tournaments to start. It can
I'm
be
just saying, like, for me, I would do it zero prize support.
You would.
Yeah. And I know that not everyone's like that. But if it's a $5 tournament with like very minimal, if any, prize support, like, I'm doing that all day. I just, if stuff were to come up like that, that's something that I would love to see the community jump on.
You just want to be crowned the winner. And sometimes paying $15 and being the winner is worth it.
Yeah, and as a competitive player, it's like, yeah, I'm paying for my shot to be known as like a top 4 player. Like that's important to me, and I like doing that for a game because I know that we grind like crazy so that we can play well. So give me that chance. But yeah, all right. So we've hit on that pretty solidly. Really looking forward to something like that springing up and coming out of this. So on that note, kind of talking about wanting to play competitively, how's everyone's decks doing since the release of the Crucible card pool?
I mean, I've enjoyed Crucible. I've played a bunch of games, whether it's on TTS. I've twisted my wife's arm to make her let me test things because I am 100% committed to somehow finding a way to make the data doll work, even though that 3-card hand, I'm surprised that 1 card feels so bad, but it feels like a challenging deck. I think what I found most interesting so far is that it feels like the new Blitz heroes they have the ability to be really good, I think, in the long term, but I think they're tough nuts to crack. I think finding the right build and play style of them is interesting because they're different from what you have in those classes already.
Yeah.
So I've been playing Data Doll, which I really enjoy, just the challenge of figuring it out. And then I've been playing a lot of Kasai in Blitz format because I really enjoy Warrior overall as a deck, and that's like my favorite deck to play is the Warrior with Dorinthia. I love her in Constructed. I really liked her in Blitz, and then they gave me Kasai, and I fell in love with the Blitz format all over again because the ability to swing with both of those sabers for 1 resource every turn, if I can just give go again, is just it's a magical thing. And that's actually the deck that I've like handed my wife to let me try Data Doll, and I just get my head kicked in, and I'm still just like, yeah, I still like, that's because she's good.
Still
she's
satisfying
fun to play. Yeah, it's so satisfying to get beat by my own deck.
All right, a good point brought up about the new characters, because I think that you're right. I think that there definitely is. I think that looking forward, it's possible that they're going to be really good, right? Like, but right now, like Benji, I was waiting for the whistle from Jason. Benji right now, I feel like Katsu wants to use a lot of these new combos, and I tried Benji out initially, and he was tough. He was really like rough, but I think I've got a way to play him, and I can hit on that when it's my turn. But I just wanted to caveat off Blake's point of the characters that I feel like Datadol and Benji are probably going to be really good when they release different tools for them. But like Kazai seems fantastic just with the typical with the typical warrior toolkit that already exists. And then we can get Mark's perspective on KO a little bit, since my hatred of dice was vindicated entirely. So
Mark? KO, it was interesting. Of course, in our games we played opening night, in the ultimate pit fight, it felt decent. I think partly because of our sequencing of the table, he didn't get attacked as much.
You mean attack Jason?
Or
he's
kill
playing.
Jason.
That's what you mean by
Games.
sequencing. That's what you mean by sequencing.
Just kill the wizard. Always kill the wizard. But when we played some blitz games after, I'd say, it's kind of like you said, Dane. It's like, can you roll dice well? If you do, and a couple times he hit, and you can, swing for 15 plus. I mean, that is what it is. It's 15 plus. But especially the one game, I think I missed on every single dice roll.
You did.
And when that happened, it felt meh at best. And I think maybe the solution is to go, maybe go more all in on the go again with the claws, which seems relatively difficult to pull off. The skull horn seemed to help. You can, discard the card, try to discard, get that 6+, but then a lot of the go again cards that are new, like the barraging bighorn, couple others, a lot of them then they're under 6, so if you have too many of them in the deck, your odds of discarding one are slim. So I think he needs to be played around with a little bit, like Blake said. Maybe just throw the club back in with him, maybe play around with that instead of having him with the claws. So I haven't got to try that out yet, but
something I kind of noticed. Something I've noticed, so with 3 of the heroes, is that if you lean too far, so I think all 3 of us, me playing Benji, Blake playing Datadol, and you playing KO, Mark, I feel like we all really leaned into the new fun skill that they presented. Yep. And I think that the way to make them more competitive is to dial back off that skill. So like for me personally, with Benji, the way that I'm going to have him built next time we test is I am going to run him like, so it's blitzed, so not combo driven deck, but I'm going to have him built with like Command and Conquers and Pummels, and I'm just going to go large, and I'm not going to really capitalize on his skill until late game when you've got like 4 to 6 health left, and I want to be able to hit you for unblockable. But like I need to keep your hand down, otherwise you're just going to flip the pressure back onto me. And I think that like trying to build a deck around not being able to block his attacks, it's like you're basically saying, yeah, go ahead and start next turn with 4 cards in hand, and then make me dump my hand trying to stay alive. So I think that's, and then with Datadol.
Yeah, I think with Datadol, it was like the same concept where at first I was like, well, you just go item heavy, and then you just go boost. So that way you're constantly boosting and you're playing free stuff. And then what I realized was, as a result of playing free stuff, I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to boost a bunch to get the free stuff, then obviously I play the plasma rifle. That's like the most logical thing. I'm going to boost a bunch. And then I completely ignored the fact that it was a 3-card hand. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously I'm an idiot, because if I pay for it, if I pay for something, I have 2 cards in hand. So if they're both boost cards, at best, the plasma rifle is 3. That feels so bad. So I thought, what if so then now the transition has been back to the pistol and going to the route of, let's just free play in a couple induction chambers and plasma purifiers and then just profit. Because if we can free play that stuff and then free play some of the defensive cards, then what we end up doing is just like, it's constantly shooting. It's shooting a ton, and then any boost is just a benefit, because it's like, let's play free and 1 cost boost stuff. And I realized that then you realize, I think the issue is a lot of times like you want to lean into the new mechanic or the way that the deck should be, like you think should be built, because that's kind of what they gave you, and realize that the plasma rifle, I think, is actually better in dash if you build a boost dash deck, because you can spend 1 card, have 3 cards left. If you can somehow boost all of them, then you finish with the gun for 3 or 4. And it's all of a sudden it becomes, you're profiting off the new weapon, but and it's interesting because
I think it's trying to use all the new tricks at once. And
Yeah.
you realize
It's
very
too
quickly
many
like
things,
it's fun, but it's definitely not. It's not even fun because it's bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So let's actually jump into the decks that we're maining right now. So Jason, you want to lead us off? What decks are you playing? How were they affected by Crucible?
Yeah, so I do want to hit one thing. The deck that I've been having fun with was Kavdane. We're going to do a deck profile on him later this week. I will say, out of all the decks I'm playing, it's the most fun deck, and I'll get into it further when we do our deck profile on Kavdane. But
Yeah,
super, super fun deck to play. First time we played it, it was absolutely miserable, and it just got better after that, and now I love it.
yeah.
So my main two decks are Wizard and Bravo. Wizard struggle with consistency. Sometimes it hits super, super good, and other times it's been horrible. So each time we've played, and we've done a lot of TTS on stream and off stream, and I keep fixing it, and it seems to get a little bit better each time. So I don't know. I think we're probably another 4, 5, 6 games from getting it to hit better or to hit more consistently, I should say. I had Enlighten Strikes out. That was a horrible, horrible decision. I even posted on the Facebook group. I don't think it needs it. I went all in that it doesn't need it. It needs it. It needs a Lightning Strike. It makes a huge difference in that deck.
That's all right. We'll be standing by for next podcast next week when you're like, take them out. It's the worst. We don't need it.
I could, but right now
If you don't need them, you can borrow them to me. I'll take them.
Yeah, I'm back on the Enlighten Strike. And then lastly, I played Bravo just the once. And so it was put together. You didn't have your deck going as good yet, Dane, but it can hit super hard. But Mangle alone, the new Mangle card in Bravo since Crucible of War, an 8 for 4, and it's so easy to Seismic Surge that. So you're paying one card to throw an 8. That's really, I love the deck. It's almost broken because you can pummel so easily with that. You have the resources. You can break your Goliath Gauntlet. There's just so many things to do to get an easy dominate 15 early in the game.
Oh yeah, like
or
Bravo's
easy
ability
12.
to just demolish life and blitz is insane.
Yeah, so I don't know. I really, really, really want to figure out Wizard. That's my goal in life. Bravo is just very consistent and good, and I think in Blitz it will continue to be good. And then my fun deck is Kavdane, and I want to go into that deck so much because of how much I love so many things, but I'm gonna save it.
Save it.
I'm gonna save it.
It is super efficient, and
I will pass.
It's really fun for just having generics in it. No like weird shtick. It's just a really
I enjoy it.
Fun.
And as you guys said about using the special abilities, I never used this ability once in any game I've played.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And I
You used
still
it against
love
me.
him.
Yeah, you used it
Did I
against
use
me.
it once? So I've used it once.
You
All
did
right.
use it against me.
All right.
All
That's
right,
it.
Mark.
I'm out.
Mark, what are you playing? How is
I haven't had a chance to play any games yet with Reiner with the new stuff. I've only done KO so far. I think it'd be interesting to try out, Reiner with the, maybe try him out with the claws or vice versa with KO in the club and try it out. Some different stuff like that, but I haven't had a chance to. Also, otherwise Azalea, a bunch of that new stuff I got in our boxes, but of course we haven't played any other games yet since, so I haven't tried her out.
Yeah, if I were you, Mark, I'd be amped for Azalea with some of the tools that she got with like those traps and stuff. Like
it seems like a lot, just a lot of tools for her. So I think it's just figuring out the right combination of how many arrows and how many traps and stuff.
Poison
I think
tip
it should be a lot of
arrows.
fun.
Poison tipped arrows. Yeah, that's making the opponent discard when you hit them. That's so gross.
Yeah.
I'm biased though because I hate dice. But yeah, anyways, Blake. What you got?
We know.
I mean, I like I talked about, I like in Blitz, I love Kasai. I think to me, like in Warrior, that's the better way to go. She's super efficient. I think she falls in the category of what like Kavdane does good is I've actually looked at her deck and I built it pretty red and yellow heavy. Like I didn't feel like I needed a ton of blue because it was pretty efficient. And then the more I play it, the more I think you can lean even harder into like the red and yellow and then maybe just have a handful of blue cards just because the second swing being free is just silly. And then hit and run, giving it go again automatically means you're always going to swing twice and you're basically going to do it for one resource. It's crazy. Data Doll is the deck that I'm like trying to crack. It's like the nut I'm trying to crack and figure out exactly how to balance it, because I like that. And then in constructed, it's Dorinthia. Like I love playing Dorinthia. I love the warrior archetype. I love the style of play. The to me, the surprise factor or the mental game of, do I have a really strong reaction, and do you have a reaction too? It's such a fun game to play, because especially late game, like I feel like warrior is probably the strongest deck in the format late game, because if you don't have a bunch of reactions in your deck, or you don't bury them early to get them late game, you're gonna dump your hand turn after turn after turn proactively to not take the +3 and +2 reprise, swings where I'm getting benefits off of them. So it puts people in a weird spot, and I love it. And then Twinning Blade is just so good, because it's like, hey, I hit you with the Dawn Blade. Oh, hey, you blocked the Dawn Blade, so I don't get the +1. Oh, guess what, though? During this reaction, hey, I'm going to Twinning Blade, and I'm going to swing again at you. So it's like that. It gave it another tool to be able to continue to pump the Dawn Blade, which is insane in the deck. So
for sure. And then I tried Benji. I was really excited for him, and I think I'm gonna keep messing with him to try and get that perspective on him to work.
If you keep calling, eventually he will come.
I know. I just gotta whistle at him. I'll have you around for that. That's actually one of the reasons I'm gonna play Katsu, is because I'm just sick of that. But
I thought you were gonna keep Benji. Just you like, I whooped your ass with Benji. Suck that whistle now.
Yeah, it's stupid little. I can't even whistle like that. So, anyways, no. So I'm gonna try to make Benji work with that new style of play, not leaning too far into his free or unblockable attacks, because I think that's probably the way to keep the opponent on their back foot until you can start hitting them for those 2 unblockables. But Katsu has been super fun, and I actually focus primarily on Blitz. I haven't done a whole lot of constructed messing around yet. I don't even think I've played a constructed game since Crucible came out. Nah, that's a lie. I did play one, but it was with Viserai, and Katsu Blitz has been a blast. I played Chris last night just for funsies and played into his Viserai, and I got 2 Zen State tokens out, so a total of 4 turns where I was untouchable with his Rune Chance, which was fantastic. And Katsu just being able to hunt those combo pieces, and like Torrent to Tempo if you have 1 in hand and you can hunt for the second, and you hit with Rushing River and you're able to put those cards back on deck that are combos, pull them back to hand. It's just silly. And that is the deck that the Breeze Rider boots were made for when I was talking. So in the past, I mentioned that Snapdragon Scalers, I think, were probably just the legs I was going to run. Yes, but not in this build, because you can have a turn where if you don't have all the pieces, but you've got a handful of combos, and maybe 2 of them match up and they're in the same chain, and you can play them sequentially to get the benefits of the second one. You just hit with 1 attack, and then I'm going to pop my boots and then play these next 4, because they're all 0. 1 card is 1 cost. So it's super silly, really fun to play. Really consistent from what I found. So been having a blast with that.
I think that maybe one of the coolest things that probably, I think a lot of times you think about, obviously the equipment you see is cool, and then maybe you don't give it, I don't give it enough attention when I see it, and then when I play it, I really appreciate it more. In like when you find like the home for like those new equipments, especially now that we're getting more majestic equipment and more high value equipment, you start to see, it's cool. I mean, I just thought it was cool to like sit down and, put all of the warrior equipment on a table and just look at it. I was like, okay, yeah. Now, like, give me a warrior headpiece, just because I want to see like a full warrior. I want to see the full warrior armor on the table and have all of them have benefits.
Yeah. And I've also been messing with Viserai Blitz, because I think that he's actually got a good toolbox for Blitz now as well. So that's been my 2 decks I've been focusing on. And so you asked me the other night when we were playing Jason how I felt about Art of War. And Art of War is fantastic in Katsu.
Yeah, I just never got it to work in my deck, so I
feel like it's pretty it's pretty specific of where it is effective. But being able to increase the blocks, because I run pretty minimal defense reaction cards. Like I've got Flick Flax in there just because it's a ninja free, and being able to block for additional shields with the next combo piece you block with for decks that want to swing twice, like Kasai. Super helpful there. But being able to Art of War, because you want to arsenal some combo pieces because you want to be able to set yourself up for something good next turn. But Art of War definitely just enables that. If I have that in hand, it's like, okay, cool. I can arsenal this safely, and then I can use one of its abilities to pitch one, draw two more, or not pitch one, but banish one, and then draw two more, and hopefully hit my pieces there. So just really enables the rest of the deck. So it's been fun. Been fun messing with it and figuring it out. So be on the lookout for that, because I'll be playing that on stream next week for sure, and possibly doing a couple gameplay videos of that. So those have been my decks.
I definitely want to start to dive into Constructed a little bit, just to, because I think we've learned that you can't take a Constructed deck and pull 40 cards from your Constructed deck, because sometimes your Blitz deck will have cards that you do not include in your Constructed. Like Sigil and Solace, I have in all three of my decks, and I would not put it in probably any, maybe Wizard. Other than that, I would never put that in a Constructed deck of Bravo. It would just bog down that deck too much. And so I want to start building a Constructed deck just to, because we have been focusing a ton on Blitz, but
yeah, we have
need to also focus on Constructed, because that's where a lot of the tournaments are. I think online stuff we do a lot more Blitz, but yeah, Constructed's also important. I think we'll have to start diving in there, because that's one thing that I think we all learned is how different of a game. It's like two different games. It's not even the same game.
I think Blitz is too.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Blake. I just one point quick. I think Blitz 2 is like really good for just like learning new cards tricks and getting like a good view at a lot of the card pool quickly, because shorter games, it's just volume of games at that point, especially when you're like trying to figure out like, where's this card good? Like if it took me 6 Constructed games to figure out this is where I use Breeze Rider Boots versus 6 Blitz games, that's like, I don't know, 3 hours of my life difference. So
correct.
I think that Blitz has definitely served its purpose there, but also it's just a really fast-paced, fun format, but it is totally different.
It's fun.
No, I mean, that's what I was going to say. I think what you get out of Blitz is a really good testing zone for a lot of cards to get a feel for them and see what they do and how they react. And I think some archetypes are more, so some of the classes are definitely more suited for Blitz cards to be universal to their Constructed decks. That's, I mean, I think that's the thing that I figured out more than anything is with my Warrior decks, I find a lot of times that the cards I play are pretty similar. I definitely obviously build the deck out the rest of the way different, but a lot of the cards that I include in my card pool for a Blitz deck are 100% cards that I like in Constructed, but it's because those decks run pretty efficiently and they're effectively trying to do the same thing for the whole game. They're trying to put pretty consistent pressure on most games and then just finish with constant unstoppable pressure that hopefully your opponent just can't respond to. So you get a pretty good, that for those decks, I get a really good test in Blitz because it feels like just an expanded game because I'm effectively trying to do the same thing. Whereas with Mech, it's interesting because in Mech, it feels like Mech is more able to burn somebody down in Constructed as an aggro deck than it is in Blitz. Because in Blitz, everyone's playing an aggro strategy where you're trying to burn people down. No one's trying to live for 30 turns.
You have to. You have
Blitz.
to in Blitz. Yep.
Yes. So I think that Mech is an interesting deck because, and maybe I'm wrong, somebody can show me the way and show me the light in a couple of games, but Mech is an interesting deck because it feels more aggro and Constructed because what it's trying to do is more effective when decks are playing slower.
Yep.
Because it's able to play faster.
It plays faster in that format. Yep. 100%. So that will about wrap up the show for tonight. Just want to do one final call to action. Next time you guys see some stuff, get some friends together, see some stuff posted about online tournaments, get out there, give people a chance and start participating. I know we're kind of chomping at the bit to see something actually fire. So let's get that going as a community because that's just going to help us long term for sure. And then
we just want to play.
Yeah, we just want to play with new people.
We have a ball. We have a park. Let's play.
Yeah, we just want to play ball.
If you want to play in Discord and you don't have a camera, we're buying cards for $300, $400, $500. People are overspending everything. You just bought a webcam to replace yours for $40 on Amazon to play on
I did,
Discord.
yeah.
It's $40. That's it. That's your entry fee to hundreds of games. TTS, you can find it on sale for $9.99 every other week. That's it.
It goes on sale quite a bit. Be on the lookout for that.
It's very inexpensive and it's a blast. And we will help you. If we need to put on a training session where you come on and we'll help you with TTS, I will help with that.
Yeah, we'll just do one of our live streams. Will be committed to everyone who wants to learn how to do it. Just get on the live stream.
We're
going to walk everybody through
play.
it. Yeah, we just want to get people playing, man. All right.
That's what we want.
Final shout out to one of our partners here. We've got TopDeckTCG.com. They are fantastic. I know I've gone through them already to buy some Crucible cards I whiffed on when I was opening my boxes. So really nice. Chris is super easy to work with, always really friendly and really good customer service there. So be sure to check them out if you didn't happen to pull what you wanted. I'm sorry. We all are sorry because we've all been there. I think I got my 2 boxes that I opened. I got 12 or 13 Majestics, including foils. I was like, oh. So felt bad, but Chris was there to catch me as I fell. So we've got the promo code. It's Outcasts Haven. It'll get you 10% off your entire order. So be sure to plug that in at the end there. And it's Outcasts with an S, Haven. And hope that helps you get the cards you wanted so you can start to play. And maybe you can use that discount you got to pick up a webcam or to buy TTS and get online and play with people. So looking forward to seeing you guys out there and talking to you next time. Peace.
See ya.
See ya.